Howdy everyone, this is Tricia and welcome to my channel. So today I'm continuing my series where I custom make floral arrangements for some friends, and this is what I've done now. I've done this beautiful summer to fall sunflower wreath. It is basically following the idea what I had last week, which is a summer to fall sunflower wreath, but I've created it into a swag here as well, and I've used a wire wreath form to put it all together. So I'm going to show you all the supplies and then how I put this together. So if you are interested, please keep watching. Okay, so I've gathered some supplies that I already had here at home. Some are left over, some are from a shopping spree that I did not too long ago, where I purchased kind of a bulk item so that I could use for several projects. Okay, so here I have a 14-inch wire wreath ring. I would have preferred to have had a grapevine, but I'm going to go ahead and use this because, like I said, these are items that I already have here at home and they're ready to use. Here I have some sunflowers. I love sunflowers. These are great for summer to fall. I had these little leftover red carnations. There's 4 of them on this little bush, and I think that's good enough. And here I've got these are lilacs, pretty blue color. I think this ties it all in so pretty together. The blue, the rich yellow, orangey tones, and then this red. And then I've got some greenery, and I've got some dark greenery here to carry this into fall. Now I did struggle a little bit and the ribbon that I want to put on here, because I had a couple, but I went ahead and I opted for this white and black checker. Now it's got some glittery effect to it, but I think it'll look really pretty with this, and it matches so well. I did have something else that was a little more springy summer, but because I wanted to go into fall, I decided that I would use this. This picks up really nice the black inside the sunflower, and it coordinates really well with the red and of course the dark green. So this is all going to combine really well together to make a beautiful wreath. Okay, so in my stash of items, I also found this little styrofoam bird with some little feathers on it. He's had a chenille stem inserted in there because I did use it for another project. All I did was just kind of poke a hole through his little body and insert the chenille stem so that I could use this to tie it onto something, or a wreath, for example. So I'm going to use this little bird. He's pretty, he's blue. I had the blue flowers and I think it'll coordinate really well. It does also have this yellow and black, so he matches perfectly. Okay, so for my tools, I have my glue gun, hot glue gun with glue sticks ready, wire cutters, scissors, chenille stems. If you don't have chenille stems, you could also use floral wire. So that's it, everyone. Supplies are ready, so let's get to crafting. First, I want to wrap this wire wreath form with my ribbon, and I kind of want to cover the whole thing. Now, some of it is going to show up at the top, and I want to do something special with the flowers where they maybe hang off like a swag here at the bottom. So therefore, all my flowers are going to be here rather than covering everything. But I do need a little bit of ribbon here, just so that I have a surface to hot glue my flowers onto, or maybe I'll just go ahead and wire them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping the ribbon around it, and I might go ahead and do the whole thing. Maybe I'll just do a certain part. What you could do also is, if you have like a really beautiful ribbon and you don't want to end up hiding it with all that flowers, you could use like a little burlap ribbon or a little inexpensive type of ribbon that you could cover the part where your flowers are going to go into. Or you could also add a piece of styrofoam that you can wire around onto the wreath, where you can insert flowers into. Okay, so let me go ahead and start wrapping this up. I took some of this floral wire and I cut a couple of long pieces. You can see here, not very visible, but there we go. They're about maybe, I don't know, 6-8 inches long. So I'm going to take one of the ends here and just wrap it with a wire, nice and tight. Just wrap it up, just so that we can go ahead and attach it somewhere so we can get started. And it can be on the inside or on the outer edge. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and twist this wire up so that, and actually I'm going to go ahead and also not only wrap it on here, but also this little piece of wire right here so it doesn't slide around, which is what it's doing on me right now. So just bring it through here, nice and tight. I could twist this whole thing now, just like that. It doesn't have to be perfect, the ends of it, and then just kind of roll them up into itself and then just press it down, or I could trim off the ends. Okay, all right, so we're just gonna go carefully wrapping this ribbon around, so I don't want to unwrap too much off of the roll, because then it makes it harder to bring it around and wrap. So this is basically all I'm doing, just bring it around. And what I want to make sure is that it's nice and spread out, so, and also pulled tight. And try not to overlap it too much, because the more you overlap, the more ribbon you need. It'll, you know, it'll cover less. So you want to just try to spread it out as much as you can, or, you know, separate as much as you can. Okay, so this is all I'm going to do. It's going to get a little wrinkled in some parts. I don't mind that. It actually looks really pretty. I'm not even going to worry if the back, if it's overlapping on the back and covering, that doesn't matter. I want this front part, you know, make sure that the ribbon is overlapping, that there isn't like a gap like that where you can see the wire. So that's all I want to make sure. And it is going to crinkle up on the inside. And like I said, I don't mind that. It actually looks really pretty. So I'm going to continue wrapping till I get to a certain point, maybe all the way to the end. It all depends on how much ribbon I've used, okay? And what I've decided. So that'll be up to you as well. Okay, I'm coming to the end of wrapping this wreath, and I think I've used maybe about, it could be 3 yards, but I think I'm leaning more towards 4 yards of ribbon. And the reason that I'm feeling that is because I do recall wrapping a wreath, one of these wire, this 14-inch, with ribbon before, and I had 3 yards, and I think it wasn't enough. I think I had a little bit of space, but it didn't matter at the time because I did cover it with something else. So you need about 4 yards. And if you need to make a nice bow would be about 3 yards. Unless you want to make a really small bow, then 2 yards is enough. So you're going to need about 6 to 8, maybe even 10 yards of ribbon. So these big rolls are a great deal, because you could, I mean, this could go for Halloween and Christmas. So I think it's really pretty. And I think I had purchased it last year when I was doing Halloween. Okay, so I'm at the end here, and I just have a little bit of a gap here. I'm going to move this over a little bit because I think that's enough to finish that off, and it is. So I'm going to go ahead and trim off. And I'm cutting it a little bit longer than, you know, what I think I need. So I'm going to grab it, and there's a wire right here, one going across and then one going here, because I did start it one going across. Okay, so wrap up the ribbon as tight as you can, the end, and then just feed that wire so that it goes over not only the one going like that, but the ring that's also going around. Okay, and just pull that tight. So this goes down like that, and I'm just going to use it and wrap around it like that, around the end of it. Okay, so now that I know that I've got it nice and tight and wrapped up good, and if I cut off a little too much, just trim that little bit. Don't cut yourself. I almost feel like I almost did that. Okay, so then just, again, your ends, just roll them up and push them down. A little trim more of this fabric of the ribbon here. That's good. What you could also do is you could get some hot glue, put some in there. Okay, so just add some glue right in there as well. Especially if you got like a little sharp end. Put a little dab of glue on it. That way you don't poke yourself with it. And some glue in there. Okay, so I can use the same floral wire that I was using for this, or grab chenille stems. And I think I'm going to grab a chenille stem. And I'm just going to cut like a quarter of the length. This was a piece that was half of the bit that I had here, which was, this is 12 inches, so this was 6 inches, and I cut in half. So I got about 3 inches of chenille stem, and I'm just going to make a loop and twist these little ends. Take a look at it. let's see what looks nicer. I kind of like this end to show up here rather than where I ended over here. Yeah, so I'm going to go opposite like that. And I'm going to hot glue this little loop here. Lift it up a little bit like that. So I can use that to hang it on a little tack or a little nail or whatever I might have on a door or maybe on a wall. Or you can just use a wreath hanger, but I'm going to put this as an option that can be used to hang it with. Now this is going to somebody. This is going to a friend who had some procedure done, was in the hospital, and she's been home. And she's my next person to receive this custom made. And she said she wanted a wreath, so we're making her a wreath. And I decided on the sunflowers because they look so pretty. They're so beautiful. I did use sunflowers last week. And this week I'm just going to use them a little differently with different colored flowers. Now, I have been doing these projects where I do custom. I'm calling it custom because they're especially for someone, and they did specify something. You know, I've got another 2 that I've added to my list. I thought I've done 3, like this was going to be my 3rd, but it's actually my 4th because I actually started off originally with another neighbor friend, and then I did my niece, and then I did another neighbor, and this is also for, she's not a neighbor next door, she's, you know, in the same area of town, so she's in the same area, but friend of my mom's first, and then she became a friend of mine. Anyway, let's get to decorating our wreath. I'm going to wait for this to dry, and I'm going to go ahead and continue. Okay, so I mentioned that I would like to have like a swag coming off of the wreath here, flowers hanging off. I want to make sure that this little thing where I have it, where I'm going to hang it from, is centered at the top. Always make sure. Now, to avoid always constantly making sure, you could always glue that on after you've put all the flowers, or not put it on there at all. And if you're not sure if they have a wreath hanger, gift them the wreath hanger. Sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied here. They do have some at Dollar Tree. They're inexpensive. Okay, let me go ahead and start cutting off some of these flowers off the bush. And I'm going to go ahead and cut them off at their longest point because I don't know yet what I need. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me cut 5 flowers. Okay, let me put these aside. And right now I've cut 5 flowers. I'm going to grab the one that had the longest stem. It's this one right here. And let me push down the leaves here. I'm going to want this, and I'm going to bend this upward so we can see that. I'm going to want this to hang about so much, and so I'm going to use the full length. Okay, I'm going to push the wreath aside for a little bit because I'm going to build a swag. Okay, so then I'm going to take 2 more flowers, and I'm going to again fold them upward, and I'm pushing the leaves and whatever is on there upward. If you have some leaves here at the bottom, go ahead and snip them off because this is all going to get tied like that together, and they're just kind of sort of be in the way. Okay, I'm going to fold this like that, so that'll go there, and this flower can kind of spring outward like that. See what I'm doing? And I'll get another one, the same thing. Push little leaves up. You don't want to push them out like so far. I'm going to, just make everything all, cramped up there. You just want to push as much as you can upward. Okay, again here, and then bend it so that it pops out like that. Like that. And then I want another one kind of in the middle here. Maybe I just need 4. Okay. Fold it upward. Actually, I want this one to go a little bit higher, so we're going to end up trimming this one. But first, let's go ahead and take care of these. We're going to put them together. So I'm going to get some floral wire and get a nice long piece, 12, 14 inches, whatever you're comfortable with handling. And we're going to grab the first 2 and just get the little ends together here and just start wrapping. Leave a little tail there and just start wrapping tight. And you can bend these again if they kind of like twist or whatever on you, the flowers. We can twist them back or bend them into the position that we want, okay? So then I'm going to move my way back up. Oops, I don't want to grab that little end there. Keep that out. I'll move my way back up, and then I can go ahead and grab those 2 ends together, tie them up, twist them back around. Now here you could also use some floral tape to hide all that wire, make it look pretty. All right, so I've managed to wire all of my pieces together that I've decided to put on here, and I wrapped each one with a floral wire individually, and then I went in there and I just added little dabs of hot glue here and there just to keep everything from slipping around, and they're pretty tight on there with the wire, so it's pretty good. So we got here 4 flowers that I've decided to put on here. I'm saving the 5th one. Now I was doing this thinking that I was recording, so I lost all that footage. So basically just follow what I did with when you saw me adding the first flower. The other one, wrapping it on, and then another one on here, and then I trimmed the stem, you know, so that they would all end at the same point here. And now we have this little piece. So I'm going to take my wreath. Again, I'm going to make sure that I have my little hanging piece there in the center. This is going to hang off right here. I'm going to push it up. Now I'm making this kind of big, so now I'm wondering if I have enough of the red, or if the red flowers are going to be enough to fill all this. Now the blue ones I do know I will, because I have more of those and the greenery as well. But let's work with what we have. I do have some different red flowers, so I could put those in there. Now I'm just hot gluing this onto here, and I want that to dry really well before I try touching it. Now what you could do is you could also take some more floral wire and then wrap around the stem and the wreath, which is what I want to do once that glue is dry. Or you could wire it first and then add the glue, just to make sure things don't come off. So, you know, just wrap around. Of course, wait till the glue is dry. Don't do what I'm doing. And this is why I wanted to put ribbon all the way, because then I could just easily hot glue things. Okay. I think that'll be okay. That'll hold on to everything. Everything else that I put on now can actually just be hot glued on. Just folding the ends, pushing them down. Could actually add a little bit more hot glue to secure that wire. I mean, the wire is tight, it's secure, but just a little more security. Okay. All right, so then I do have this 5th flower that's going to go up here in the center, but I want to add a couple more here and there. So I want to go ahead and cut another 2 flowers from this bush. And as a matter of fact, all I'm going to have left over is 2 flowers. So I'm going to go ahead and cut them. Maybe I'll use them. Okay, I'm going to take the 2 longest ones and save them aside. And grab these shorter ones because they are going to get trimmed. And I'm going to push this upward. And fold the stem and kind of curve it a little bit and decide where do I want it, so then I can trim the wire, or actually the stem. I don't need it to be that long, just a little bit, enough to hot glue onto here. Actually, I could actually tuck it in there. On this end I can't, but I can over here. Okay, let's get that right about right here and just hot glue it really well. Everything that touches the ribbon, a little bit of leaves over here that are touching, I'm adding glue. Okay, so I'm just going to hold it like that till most of the glue dries, so that it doesn't, you know, topple over and lift the stem. And I'm going to repeat the same thing, put another flower here, and then I'm going to cut one of them short, to little short stem, fold it up, put it in the center right here. This one, cut it real short. We don't need a long stem at all. Bend that. And then that'll get hot glued right in the middle. I mean, it doesn't look like much right now. I mean, I can see what's happening. So I have an idea in my head. But here you can, somehow you can visualize this. I can open these up a little bit more. There we go. Now, if your leaves are getting all crowded and all over the place, you can trim some of them off and then just hot glue them and fill here and there. Like, see, like this one is, you know, the back of it is kind of showing instead of the front. Bring it and twist it around in a good position. But if you have something that you can't do that to, cut it off. And you can just put some glue on it. Glue it somewhere else. like there, for example. Here's one also. Trim that off. A little bit of glue. Just push that on there somewhere. Okay, now I'm going to let this dry, make sure all the glue is dry. And I'm going to plan my next flowers. Okay, so I'm opening this up so that I can cut them off of the bush. Do that with all your little bushes that you know you're going to use, all the stems, cut them off. Okay, I did notice that this one here has a little bit of damage. These little flowers have just kind of popped off. I can see now how they put this together. It's like a long string like that, and then wherever there's a little hole in the center of each flower is poked into the little stems. I could fix it. I could take my time and do that, but do I want to do it? No, we're going to put that aside. I have another one, so I'll grab that. And like I said, I did notice that I have some more of those red carnations. I have another bush, and I know I got those at Dollar Tree. These were all purchased at Dollar Tree when I was doing, I was going to do 4th of July and other like Memorial Day. Didn't get to do these videos, so I had these flowers left over. Okay, so I'm going to plan it out where I want some of these to go. I want a couple shooting out of this way. And then you know what? Another 2 shooting out this way. And if I feel like I need more blue in here, I'll grab the other bundle. So let's go ahead and start gluing those in place. So again, I'm going to get these and I fold them up just a little bit. Trim off a lot of the stem. We don't need that. I'm going to put some glue on it. Just tuck it behind the sunflower wherever you want. And then just make sure there's plenty of hot glue holding that stem down. Okay, same on the other side. But let me go ahead and do one of these. You could have planned this out ahead of time and wired this onto the same bundle where you did this. I'm just going to hot glue it. The little end right in here, this little area of the wreath right there. Whatever I did here, I'll just repeat on the other side. Oh, I don't need to cut it. I was about to cut it, you guys. Let's just stick it down. Put some more glue on top. Don't move it around so much. Let it all dry. Actually, I'm going to angle it a little bit like that. So instead of it coming straight out, I'm angling it like that. Okay, I'm going to add the other 2, and then we'll see what else we need. All right, so I grabbed the other bush of these, I think they were lilacs, and I've already cut them, the little individual stems off the bush, separated them, and one of the other flowers on that bush also was like that, so maybe I'll just use 4, or maybe just a couple more from here. Okay, so I did the same thing with the bush of carnations, separated them. I had 4. Now I was looking over my stash of flowers and I could see red carnations peeking out. It turned out that it was on a stem that's got red, white, and blue. So actually, I'm just going to cut off those 2 red flowers. No big deal. Now I've got 6 to work with, so that's really nice. It'll fill in here really well. And I'm even thinking those other 2 sunflowers that I have, I might go ahead and add them on there and just add a lot more fullness to this wreath. Okay, let's go ahead and start adding some of these beautiful red carnations. At least I think they're beautiful. And I'm going to put this one about right here. So I need to trim this stem. It's too long. Put that one there. And again, whatever I do on this side, I'm going to do to the other side. So let's put some glue on the tip here first. Place it where we want, in the angle that we need it. And then douse some more glue on top, so it encases the stem onto the ribbon. Okay. Let's do another one over here. Again, I'm going to fold this up. Trim my stem. Let's turn this around a little bit carefully, like that. Now, whatever I do on this side, again, I'll do to the other side. Okay, I'm going to grab the other 2 sunflowers as well. Push up the greenery. This was kind of not so nice looking, so I'm going to trim that leaf off. Okay, trim it short. glue, set it down, add some more glue on there. I'm going to take another one of these lilacs, trim. That one just gets bent just a tiny bit. I'm going to push this sunflower outward a little bit, and now I'm going to direct this lilac inward because this one's coming out, that one's going to go inward. You want to make sure you do that with your flowers. Give them a more natural flow rather than everything going in the same direction. Oops, this one's moving around because I didn't make sure I put it in the spot that I want. Okay, so I'm going to hold it again. Just make sure it dries in place. And I'll repeat the same to the other side as I said. All right, now that I've repeated the pattern on both sides. Oh, I need one more of this lilac. Yeah, just missed that. Need one more coming out facing inside here. There we go, just put it in there. I'm gonna go back and just make sure everything's, just make sure nothing's gonna come off. Just shake it around a little bit, the wreath, before I finalize it. Just take it up, shake it around. Any flowers fall off or move around too much, glue them down properly. Okay, so I have two carnations left over, and I'm trying to decide if I want to use them, and I am. So I'm gonna cut these a little long like that, not too much, and I'm gonna have them popping out from right here, kind of filling in this space right here. I'm using a lot of glue, by the way, so make sure you got that ready. Now, if I had put a square of styrofoam, tied it down with, wrapped it around with some wire onto the wreath here, I could just be inserting and I wouldn't have to put so much glue. The only reason that I'm using so much glue is because, I want to make sure that the flower is stable where I'm putting it. Okay, let's put another one right here. Glue on top. There we go. Okay, so the next step was to separate my greenery, and I've cut this off from the little bush stem here. And so now I'm taking these individual pieces and actually cutting them up some more. Okay, and then once you have pieces like that, you can make even smaller ones. So go wherever there's a couple of leaves where you want to, you feel like, okay, this is one piece and this is another piece. So right above these leaves, you cut right there, so that you have some stem here, and then of course you have some stem here. And you have styrofoam. Those pieces of those length of stem are enough to go into the styrofoam. In my case, I'm gluing them down, and that's enough. So now I have smaller pieces like that I can tuck here and there just to fill in some spaces. So that's what I'm going to do. Got one of these. Let me do one more small like that. Okay, so I got these smaller pieces, and then I've got these longer pieces. And I'll decide where they're going to go and glue them in. Okay, because I didn't have two more pieces of this lilac, I decided to add some blue here. There's so much yellow and red. The blues are like down around the wreath rather than in the center. So I'm just going to add these extra ones in there since I have them. And it's just two pieces. Probably won't be able to use them on something else. Well, unless I buy more of them. Okay. Well, I mean, I always end up figuring out a way to use stuff. But here it's all used up. It's going to be a nice gift. Okay, so I'm going to take these longer pieces that I've separated, and I'm going to add, here and there to fill in these little spots here. Add to the swag, maybe one down at the bottom here. Okay, to lengthen it. Okay, so these are going to go in here, one in the middle there, and this one. Now this one, the only thing I have here is the stem to grab it onto, so I'm going to get some more floral wire. And again, you can use some floral tape as well to hide the wire. Just get it like that. Put your stem on your greenery and then just wrap it up. Okay, so now you're seeing me doing this, so you can kind of think ahead and go, oh, let me put that little piece of greenery on there before I make this big, bundle. And glue it onto my wreath. I'll get it on there with the blue lilacs or whatever other little flower you're gonna put on here. create that swag with all these pieces first before putting it on your wreath. Okay, that is pretty good. I've shaken it around, made sure nothing pops off. This little piece, there's some leaves there, and I'm gonna actually just hot glue it to the leaves from the sunflowers. Just glue it onto wherever you can. Look at that. Perfectly lays right there. Add some more glue on top. There we go. Okay, now I had said another two would come out the sides here. And the little stem is long enough that I can actually glue it onto the wreath here. So put your glue on your spot and push that in. Look at that. That looks so pretty. Okay, one on the other side as well. There we go. Make sure it's touching the wreath. It's actually gluing down onto something. You're not just blindly pushing it in there like I was starting to do that. Okay, that looks good. All right. We're going to let them dry. We're going to check them and then add more glue if I need to. Okay, I have one piece left over. I'll push it to the side. Okay, so now I'm going to take all of my little smaller pieces and I'm going to tuck them here and there wherever I feel I need some leaves. I'm going to grab this one because it looks pretty the way it kind of flows out. Put that up here. There we go. I'll do the same on the other side. Nice full one here. I'll tuck that right here just to fill in that space. And then I think I could use another one right here. Okay, so what I've used so far is one of these full ones. I want to make sure that I have enough for the other side. Okay, so whatever you grab that you're going to put on this side, start putting aside for the other, or just do this, do that, do this, do that, do this, do that. Okay. Okay, I'm going to continue. Okay, so I'm having a little trouble with this one leaf. It doesn't want to stay turned this way, so I'm cutting it off. Add some glue. And just tuck it in behind these two smaller ones. Bring your flowers around, wrap the leaves around them. Make it all look nice. Okay, I had these two other small pieces and then this one. So I'm going to separate them and tuck them in here. There's no leaves here. Alright, so now I have this little bird after I've inserted everything that I want in there. I'm wondering, do I need the little styrofoam? The little chenille stem into it. No, because I can't reach in there and tie him. So I'm going to do some remove these little petals here so that when they pop back up, they'll cover this little hole. And I want to make sure that the little bird is facing forward. Put some glue the back side here. You know, the back of the bird here. And the bottom. So he glues onto something, you know, and just tuck him in there. A little secret hiding place for him. He's not like super coming out, but you can, you know, you look at the wreath carefully. He's in there. I mean, if you wanted him to be more visible, you could maybe glue him on top of one of these flowers up here, or if you put a little nest or something to make him stand out, or put him on a little wooden pick. Insert a little pick in there and then just tuck him in. But I think he looks pretty in there. Look at that. All right, everyone. So I've completed the project. I think it looks really pretty. Again, this is a custom for a friend. She's been in the hospital, or she was in the hospital. It was a short stay at the hospital, but she's been at home, and she's had to stay at home for a total of 6 weeks. She's still there. And so I decided that she would be the recipient of my next custom item. Now, I thought this was my third project, but it's actually my fourth, and I actually have another two already on queue to receive something. I don't want to ask too many people ahead of time because, you know, it's longer time that they have to wait. So I'm doing this a little bit at a time and asking a couple or maybe three what they would like, if they'd like to be the recipients of these projects that I'm doing. And then I asked them, well, what would you like? Because I want to make it custom. Now, she did not specify anything except she said that she would like something to hang on her front door. So because this is sort of a repeat of last week's project where I did a transition from summer to fall, and I used these sunflowers on a wreath. First, it was a different type of wreath. It was a grapevine, but it was still a wreath and sunflowers. I wanted you to see something different, so I decided to go with the swag on a wreath. And I hope that you like that. I hope that you really enjoyed the idea. And I don't know if it's a unique idea, but you know, look at that. Isn't that pretty? I think this would also be really pretty if you are doing a arrangement for a funeral where you're going to take a wreath and put it on a little stand, a little wreath easel. It would be something pretty to add something hanging off. That looks really beautiful. I think it does. That's my opinion, and I hope that you like it too. So I'm going to give myself a big old thumbs up, and I hope that you too will give me a big old thumbs up and let me know what you think of this project this week. I think it's beautiful. And if you like the content of my videos, you've been watching but you're not subscribed, I'm going to ask you, please subscribe and hit that red button and then hit notifications so that you get notified as soon as I upload a video. It's very important that everyone views the videos, views them in fully, and leave some sort of a comment, a like, and that's what's most important. So I hope that you will engage with my channel. And I want to thank everyone who has been supporting me and continue to watch my channel. I really appreciate you. You give me encouragement to continue. Your comments have been very kind. So there we go. Beautiful custom wreath to swag arrangement. And I'm happy with it. So again, thank you all very much for watching and supporting my channel. And as always, enjoy.